Hello, everyone. It's Al Nigrin from the New Jersey Film Festival, back with a series of filmmaker interviews for the Fall 2013 New Jersey Film Festival, which is in its 32nd annual presentation. And we have a wonderful lineup of films. We have 29 finalists from around the world who are competing for Best of prizes. We also have a Best of the Summer Film Festival screenings for those of you who are not around and want to check out the winners of our film festival, the International Film Festival from over the summer. You can do that in October. We also have a free screening on November 15th. That's going to be taking place at Rutgers University. All of our films take place at Rutgers University in New Brunswick. General admission is $10, students and seniors $9, and if you're a Film Co-op friend, you get in for $8. Plus, a lot of the screenings will be having free food courtesy of Jimmy John's of New Brunswick. Today, we have a young filmmaker here, John McKelvey, and he's made a really wonderful and very interesting documentary called Rap in Reno. Hello, John. Welcome.
Hi.
Tell us a little bit about this film.
It's a documentary, and it's my first real documentary. I once, a long time ago, made a mockumentary, but this is my first authentic one. It focuses on both entertainment and history. It's about the very real story of two really dynamic women in American history, Anquiette, who's a Miami-based rapper, and of course Janet Reno, the former state's attorney general, mostly before she was the state's attorney general. Their lives had a very unusual kind of crossing.
I thought that's what, when we saw this film, I was part of the jury that saw your film, the pre-screening jury, and we thought it was very unique, very well-crafted, and thought that, I'd never heard about this stuff. I grew up during that time period. I knew a little bit about it,
right?
But I think you really filled in the holes for me.
It is, in some ways pretty obscure, and yet, especially obviously Janet Reno is very famous, so it's not like trivia. It's actually some very interesting kind of compelling stories. One thing I do, besides sort of my interest in filmmaking, is hip-hop journalism. So this is easily my area of expertise, so it was really, a natural decision to kind of merge the two things together. And so I knew a lot of information that's not really so publicly out there, and yet is a very kind of compelling story.
Did you have rights issues with getting permission to use some of the footage that you have?
Not so much. I mean, it's by and large, it's all fair use because it's a documentary about the subjects as opposed to, a fiction film using some of the music or anything like that. So that really covers most of it. There were one or two things I was sort of on the fence about using, which I ultimately didn't use exactly for that reason. But so this film, as it is pretty secure.
I mean, two diametrically opposite type of people in this film. I mean, Janet Reno, well-established Secretary of State for Bill Clinton, who then suffered from Parkinson's disease?
Yeah, and who would, objectively from the outside would seem very disparate, and you would think, well, what could they possibly have in common? But actually, I think you find through the film that their lives connect more than once, and they actually have a lot of things in common. From Janet Reno actually has some more surprising ties to the music industry that people wouldn't know about. People wouldn't know that, her interest in justice actually very much coincided with Anquiette's interest in justice. In fact, that's what the song's sort of about.
Yeah. How long did it take you to put this together?
A long time, mostly because as is a documentary, this was something I wanted to do. I sort of say it's an experimental film. It's not an experimental film, but it was for me because I hadn't made a film like this. And I want something that I could really do. When you're working with actors and crew and all, there's really a lot of obligation to get it out there and have a lot of success. You can't really just sort of film a big movie for like a year. Everybody's putting in their time and effort and then just sort of say, well, nothing really happened with it. So I wanted something that I could just sort of work on the side. So it took a long time, but because I was just sort of really doing it slowly and casually. And then when I saw that the New Jersey Film Festival was coming up, I'm like, I'm right near the end. I'm just going to pound out the end and get it right in for the deadline.
We're really glad you did because, again, I think the jury found the film entertaining, insightful at the same time. And actually, you were a participant in one of our other festivals, too.
Yes, way back in the day. The mockumentary I mentioned, Lunch Break, was I think it was 2005.
Wow.
And I got an honorable mention in that, too. So,
that's great. That's great. Well, John McKelvey is one of many of the filmmakers that we'll have at the New Jersey Film Festival. His film will be taking place on Sunday, September 8th, in Voorhees Hall, room 105, our state-of-the-art facility. It seats about 265 people, high-definition projection, cushy chairs, stadium seating, all the amenities that you would have at the multiplex without the obnoxious individual sitting next to you. Yes. We have a really nice crowd. So come and join us. If you'd like more information, you go to our website at njfilmfest.com, all one word, njfilmfest.com. Click on where it says schedule for the New Jersey Film Festival Fall 2013 season. Work your way all the way down for general information. There's free parking. The university lots are open. And again, we'll have free food courtesy of Jimmy John's. Plus, you'll get the chance to meet actually 3 wonderful filmmakers that evening. John will be there. Yep. The film that we'll be screening with it is also very interesting. It's called Killer B3. It stars, well, it doesn't star, it's directed by Merv Seymour and John Bamford. They're coming up from Clearwater, Florida. Their documentary is about the Hammond organ. And if you've ever seen any rock shows or blues shows or you've gone to a gospel church, the Hammond organ is a mainstay. And it's one of the most insightful music documentaries I've ever seen. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, come on, join us on Sunday, September 8th at Rutgers University. More information at njfilmfest.com, or you can always call us at our home base on our hotline at 848-932-8482. Thanks so much for coming, John.
Thanks.